Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Channel.
Live from Studio A, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, Chief Instructor at the Radford Racing School, Danny Bullock, joins us. We're going to talk about racing. We're going to talk about Dodge SRT. It's going to be good. Konrad's going to have the In-Wheel Time Car Clinic. What are we talking about today?
Cold air intakes.
Cold air intakes. And I'll bring you this week's automotive news. Howdy, along with David Ainsley, filling in for the COVID-infested Mike Mars. Infested. We have King Konrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks for joining us today. Well, here he is, and everybody here says, man, that guy looks familiar because we're looking at him on the Zoom. His name is Danny Bullock. He's the chief instructor at the Radford Racing School, an official Dodge SRT experience school. Danny, have you been on with us before?
Hey, good morning, gang. This is my first time with you folks. We've done a bunch of different interviews with people all over the country, but I think this is my first time with you folks.
Perfect. Well, that's good. Yeah. Well, you look familiar. Yeah. And I'm sure it was in jail last time I saw you. I think. But anyway, hey, it's great to have you with us today. Thank you so much. Give us a brief overview of Radford Racing School. When did it start? What's it for?
So the Radford Racing School, we were founded back in 1968. We were a previously named school before that. Bob Konrad started the school back then. And if you know the Konrad name.
Yep.
And so we had a change of ownership in 2019. A brand new group of people came in and bought the school. Amazingly enough, several of those partners were former students of the school before they came and bought it. And when they came in, they really wanted to carry on this legacy that the school has been known for.
Yep.
And so they wanted to be a part of it. And they obviously had a good enough time with us that they said, hey, you know what? We want to have a piece of this. We want to be a part of the growth of this company. And
as being a part of it, we want to come out there and race for free anytime we want to.
That might be a side benefit for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so we see them out here on a regular basis. They're always out here with different events that are going on here. Some of the sponsor events that we have here with Dodge or the team from SRT. We also have a partnership with the Gary Sinise Foundation, and so we see them out here several times a year, and so they're here with that event as well. And anytime we have any sponsor events, when it's Power Stop Brakes or Shell Gasoline, Pennzoil Fluids, the Goodyear Tire Company, whenever they come out here, the ownership team likes to be a part of that and say hi, because this is a very special place to all of us. And they like, coming out and having that face-to-face time with those folks that help support the school.
Now, you're out there at Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park, correct?
Yep, Chandler, Arizona.
Yeah, which is outside of Phoenix.
Yeah, we're just 18 minutes south of the airport. It's actually a very quick drive. It's a fantastic, easy ride right down the I-10 to our place here.
And a 12-turn, 1.1 mile track course.
Yeah, we have a 12-turn, 1.1 mile course, which can be expanded into 1.6 miles and 15 turns, depending on the configuration that we have. And so we've done a lot of improvements on that track. In June of 2020, while things were kind of on that shutdown area, they said, hey, you know what? This would be a great time to do some good improvements. So we went and demolished the track and repaved it, did a bunch of improvements there. We did a bunch of seal coating. We did some remodeling in the buildings. It was a great opportunity to catch up on those things that the new ownership wanted to do, and they thought it might be a little farther down the road. But then when 2020 happened, they said, hey, you know what? This is a great opportunity. Let's take this window of time to put into effect all those things we want to do, all those projects, so that when we start opening up again, we're full bore.
And you also have a drag strip there. Now, is NHRA, the Pro Tour still going through there?
So 2023 was supposed to be the last year of NHRA coming down the Wild Horse Pass. That may or may not change. We are working on that right now as we speak, and there's nothing in concrete just yet. But we've been talking with them, and they want to put something on the calendar. So I think it's going to happen. I just can't say for sure.
Yeah. Well, we're keeping our fingers crossed because I know that Phoenix, that track out there. It was always on the circuit early on in the season, and there's testing out there all the time. I mean, it's a very active place. If you're into any kind of motorsports, that's the place.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about the connection with Dodge and SRT.
Yes. So we started our relationship with the team from SRT back in 2016. When we first partnered with them, we had a fleet of Dodge Vipers here. We had 8 ACR Vipers and 32 Viper GTs with the TA 2.0 package on them. They were phenomenal cars. I mean, just great cars. And then we also, alongside of them, we had the Hellcat Challenger, the Hellcat Charger. We had a whole fleet of different SRT vehicles that we could utilize here at the school. 2 years into the program, we know the Viper was going away. And so they said, we're not going to support the Viper anymore because we're discontinuing it. And so we said, okay, well, look, we got all these Hellcats around here that work awesome. Why don't we just replace those Vipers with those Hellcats and use those as that main vehicle? And we've been using them ever since. I think we've given them some feedback that may have influenced the team to develop the wide body now with the bigger tires underneath it.
Yep.
And that's what we use. Basically, everything here is wide bodied Challenger or wide bodied Charger. And I got to tell you, these things work fantastic. Dodge will always say, hey, we tout this as our muscle car. But when you see what they do on the track here, you'd be amazed. You would not believe the performance that this car can put going through a corner as well as going down a straight line. And so we utilize 85 SRT vehicles here at the school for everything from our defensive driving courses all the way up to the advanced road racing class for drivers who have prior race experience and they're looking to brush up before their next competition. And then also I'll use those vehicles on the drag strip. We have 5 of the original 2018 Dodge SRT Demons. We've got some new Dodge Demon 170s on order. And when they come here, we're going to be promoting a new class for that car and for the owners of that vehicle. That vehicle is just phenomenal specs, over 1,000 horsepower. I mean, these things come with a parachute. Anybody who takes a class with that car, they're going to be wowed by what that vehicle could do down the drag strip. So we're excited to see that come here pretty soon.
But don't you guys also have an agreement or an understanding or some sort of a deal where you buy an SRT Dodge? You're one of those tracks that hey, come on out here. Let us show you how to drive your new car.
Absolutely. So the partnership with SRT, the whole purpose behind it for them is that they want drivers to have a little bit more wherewithal and car control knowledge before they start driving these cars on the streets and getting themselves in trouble, right? Because there's so much horsepower, so much torque. And so if you buy an SRT branded vehicle from Dodge, it automatically comes with a free 1-day SRT owners experience program that's already part of the sale. So you buy the car and then you go through a little ownership verification process. Once that's done, we can put you on the calendar, and we have these programs 1 to 2 times a month. And it's a fantastic program. It's kind of a mix of inciting more enthusiasm for the SRT brand and giving you good, safe car driving skills for when you're out there trying to survive on the streets. And the camaraderie between owners here, I mean, we get upwards of 50 to 80 drivers in a program, and they get here and they look around, they're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And it's automatically a brotherhood amongst everybody in that room, because they all have the same enthusiasm for the brand, and they start talking about what they've done to their car, what they want to do to their car, and you live in that area. I'm just an hour away. We got to get together, and it's about an hour's worth of them just mingling and bonding together before we even start class, and then we get into the program, and by the time we're done, these folks are so ramped up. It's an amazing time, not only for them, but for those of us that are teaching it too. So
I'm just using this as let's just say that I bought a brand, not brand new, but an SRT that's, let's say, got
slightly used.
15,000 miles on it, and I want to come to the school. Now that's going to cost me to go to that school, correct?
Yeah, it's going to cost you if the original owner did not take advantage of the program. You have to be the owner. You have to be the original owner to do that. So yeah, if you're a second owner, you'll have to pay for the program.
How much does that cost?
It's $14.99 for the day.
$1,500 for the school for the day. Boy, that's chump change for
not
me.
bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'd save up my money for a year to do that.
Some of your instructors are professional drivers, correct?
Yes, a lot of us either formerly raced or we are currently racing right now. I've got a few of them that are racing right now in the Road Racing Series SRO, and one of them was running in IMSA for a while. A couple of us ran together in the Grand Am Series years ago. That's where I ran my pro series, was Grand Am back in the day, and I also used to road race motorcycles in the Championship Cup Series. For 5 years, a phenomenal time there. Everybody here, all the instructors have some kind of race experience, and that's really what helps mold them into it's one piece that helps make them a good instructor.
I want to know about some sort of a go-kart. Do you have a go-kart track there?
Yes, yeah, we've got.
You said that like, yes, we do.
It's a 0.9 mile little road course for karts, and we have some really cool, they're gas go-karts. They're one speed. They're awesome for like the group programs because you can get a bunch of people in. It's just a gas pedal and a brake. We pull start these things and people go out and start driving. And we're also looking at expanding that kart program to have some purpose-built race karts like a shifter kart, or something similar. If you've never driven a shifter kart, these things have a 125cc two-stroke dirt bike engine basically attached to the back axle, and it also comes with that 6-speed transmission that comes on that dirt bike. These things are capable of going from 0 to 100 miles an hour in about 6 seconds, and we are looking at possibly bringing those down here again. We used to have them a long time ago, and we're now developing plans to see if we can get them out here again.
That is so much fun. All right, so I've got a 16-year-old daughter. I want to put her in a driving school. I don't know what to do. They've got some around here, but I've heard of Radford / Bondurant, and we've got, Aunt Mary that lives out there in Phoenix. We're going to come visit her. Do you have something for the 16-year-old and learn how to drive?
We absolutely do. If you have a driver who's newer to being behind the wheel, we have a 1, 2, or 3-day advanced teen driving course. Now, we call it the advanced teen driving course because we don't teach them how to drive. We teach them how to drive better. We want them to have a little bit of wheel time before they get here to the class, because we want them to have good wherewithal with the vehicle.
Right.
And then what we do is we give them these survival skills that you would look at. If you came and watched the class for even just a couple hours, you go, my gosh, why didn't they teach us this when we first got our licenses? This should be mandatory. And so we teach them evasive maneuvers, how to avoid an accident that happens in front of them. We teach them basic vision skills, which you would think, well, what's big about vision? Most people don't look far enough ahead. So it's one of those big foundations that we start with. We also get every teen class into the skid car, the most valuable vehicle we've got here to teach with. And when you get in that car, what we are able to do is we have these hydraulic rams on these. They kind of look like training wheels.
I've seen it. Yes.
Wow. Yes. And so you can raise the back end or the front end up to reduce the grip and make it feel like they're driving on snow or ice. And they learn that very quickly. It's such a phenomenal teaching tool.
And, Jeff's got a granddaughter that just started driving this past year, and she drives grandma's car. She doesn't have a car of her own yet, but she's getting there. I'm thinking, okay, well, now here is a real Christmas present.
Absolutely. This is the best thing you could do for your child who's driving or grandchild that's driving. You get them something like this as a birthday gift or a Christmas gift. And believe me, it is not like any other driving school you would think of. When teens think of going to driving school, they think, oh, I'm going to be in a classroom with a teacher in front of me the whole day. And when we see them here, we come in the morning and their heads are slumped in their arms going, oh boy, this will be boring. And when we're out of that classroom after about a half hour of talking and we go out and start driving and their eyes just light up and they're like, wow, I never knew about this. This is so much fun. What do we do next? And the excitement just ramps up from there. It's very satisfying actually to see it, because that means they're into it. And what we all as driving enthusiasts want is we want the next generation to be enthusiastic about driving too. My daughter is I've got 3 daughters. One's 21 now. And at first, she wasn't really that much into driving. We did some kart racing a little bit in the beginning when she was a young teenager. And then when it came to getting her license, she didn't seem into it too much. And then when she finally did get it, all she wanted to do was drive. That's all she wanted to do. Oh, you need something from the store? I'll get it, Mom. And so now she is an enthusiast. And I think we all try to garner that on our kids and hopefully keep this love of automobiles and driving alive.
So is there an age limit?
We asked that. Yeah, we asked that they are at least 16 years old and have had some driving experience for at least 6 months on the road. Now, I have seen us take drivers that were a little younger, maybe didn't have as much seat time, or maybe didn't have their license for as long, or maybe they had their permit. And so, but they've grown up driving trucks on the farm. They drove side-by-sides or quads. And we look at that and say, hey, look, it looks like this driver, they already kind of know how to handle a vehicle a little bit. We can still take them on as well. But we definitely want them to have some seat time under their belt first.
Yeah. Could you also offer counseling for Don's older daughters who didn't realize they had a 16-year-old sister?
Hey. Yeah.
I don't know if I can contribute to that or not.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you don't have to. It's all right. I've already been relegated to the back seat anyway, so no worries there. All right. So where do we find out all of the things that Radford Racing School has got to offer?
You can go online to www.radfordracingschool.com. We're also on Instagram. We're on Facebook, Radford Racing School. You can find us everywhere online. And if you're in the area, stop down and see us. We're right down the street, right just 18 minutes out of town, downtown Phoenix. So if you find yourself visiting the Phoenix area or have some family, stop on down here. We're at Wild Horse Pass Boulevard. It's called gate number 3. There's 4 gates to the race facility. We're down gate number 3. You'll come down and see all the Chargers and Challengers all brightly colored, and you'll know you're in the right spot.
Well, let me just say this. I know that the Bob Bondurant School is no more, but it really is, because he was the one that really started this. And I remember back years and years and years ago, the Bob Bondurant School of Driving or Racing, whatever it was. But that's the one name that stands out to me. And, there's got to be a sense of pride that this is the new version of that, because he was the guy that really brought it all together.
The evolution of it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. We're all very proud to be here and be working for the Radford Racing School. A lot of us started our careers under Bob. I took my first racing lesson with Bob when I was 14 years old. And then I came out to Phoenix to start working for him about a dozen years later. And I've now been at the school a little over 25 years.
Wow.
Well, congratulations to you. It looks like a ton of fun, great information, and a good vacation, that's for sure.
You bet.
Absolutely. Come on out and see us, gang. We'll see you soon.
Danny, thanks again. We'll talk to you again soon. Danny Bullock, Chief Instructor at Radford Racing School, official Dodge SRT experience kind of school. All right, let's move on, get to Konrad's Car Clinic now, shall we?
So, we're going to talk today about cold air intakes. We've been talking about engines as air pumps and how they work. Many of factory production cars had cold air intakes. One of the original ones was this one, which was on the Z11 409 in the Chevy Impala.
She's real fine, my 409.
Yeah. Well, they actually pulled the cold air from the base of the windshield, the cowl intake, and that's a factory air intake on that. So, and then the evolution of it as it went through years, that one was 63. Here's a 66. Cold air intake, and those big tubes that are coming out of the side, that's on an Oldsmobile W30.
Of course it is.
Tri-power, that's got 3 2-barrel carburetors. Nice. And those big tubes actually went to scoops that were mounted under the front bumper. And that's what brought the cold air in. That intake, that air cleaner right there is probably about a $3,000 air cleaner today. So if anybody's got one in their trunk, keep it. And then they evolved.
Or on their engine.
This is a 68 and 69, the W31.
I love the gold engine.
Well, the gold at Oldsmobile meant it was a 350. Oldsmobile 455s were blue, the 425s were red, and the 400 was a bronze color. So when you pop the hood of an Oldsmobile, if the engine's still the original color, visually you should be able to tell what size engine is in it.
Interesting.
And then they went from that in 68 and 69, and in 70, they offered this. Now, this is what fits underneath those two big snorkel hood scoops. And if you look right in the center of that, there's kind of like a little butterfly flap that has a vacuum hose going to it. When the engine would go wide open throttle, that vacuum hose would lose its vacuum, and that flap would open up and would allow the hood scoops to ram air into the intake manifold. Pretty cool operation. And that's what's on my Rally 350. And then Pontiac also did it with their Ram Air 3 and Ram Air 4s through the hood scoops that dumped right into the intake manifold. But it wasn't just the performance cars. Even some of the everyday stuff would have cold air intakes on them from the factory. This next one is off of a Chevrolet pickup truck from the 90s. And instead of going to the cowl of the windshield, they just collected air from behind the headlight out of the fender area because they didn't want that hot air in the engine compartment to get into the engine. They wanted to kind of keep some colder air coming in. And then in the early 2000s, they changed to this kind of an intake manifold. Now, this still
what the hell is that?
Well, this still
looks like some sort of a gun.
Yeah, well, it's still dumped over to the a port in the fender to draw the air in. But you see all those weird little tubes and chambers. Those weird little tubes and chambers were designed to to eliminate the harmonic noise, the droning noise that could be created by an air intake tube. We were talking off the air before about how when we were kids, you just flip the air cleaner on your carburetor and you'd hear that noise. Well, manufacturers didn't want that noise. So they put all these extra tubes and chambers.
We want the noise
to kind of counterphase that noise, right? And then you talked about your Corvette. Next one is an air box that again takes air from the fender and dumps it into a cold air box. That's an aftermarket air box. And then the Corvette would pull air from in front of the radiator, again, looking for an area that the air wasn't already heated. Because hot air has a negative impact on performance. Cold air is more dense and has more oxygen in it, hence cold air intakes.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yeah,
but the horsepower increases were relatively minuscule. People that advertise, we can get you 15 horsepower with a cold air intake. Put it on a dyno. I don't think that
I always had a fascination and love for the look of the cowl induction from Chevrolet with the little flap up on the hood.
Well, and that's like I showed you on the Oldsmobile, that little flap is under the hood. With that little flap, they were taking the air from that high pressure area right at the base of the windshield and the hood. And that's why that cowl induction flap would open up. When that would open up, that would push air into the air cleaner.
That's great stuff. You didn't talk about the air filters.
No.
And the K&N, I've discovered, has less restriction than, say, for instance, a Fram filter that you would get at Walmart.
Yeah, and that's I'll do that next week. That measures the micron of what allows the air to go through. The problem with that is the larger the micron, the more debris can get through. Yeah, so the way K&N gets around it is their filters have an oil on them. But we'll talk about that next week.
Okay, let's do it next week. One thing that I did want to mention before we go to break, an EV adoption increase. As EV adoption increases, J.D. Power says industry leaders should be concerned. Satisfaction with public charging during the first half of the year fell to its lowest level recorded in J.D. Power studies. And as electric vehicle adoption increases, industry leaders should be concerned, according to the research firm. Most consumers who are reluctant to buy an EV worry that public chargers are not available. Poor charger performance could be another hindrance, according to Brent Gruber, Executive Director of the EV practice at J.D. Power. Automakers and public charging stakeholders such as network operators and charger manufacturers should improve the charging experience before it becomes a runaway train, according to Gruber. And he was speaking with Automotive News. Charging satisfaction at both Level 2 chargers and Level 3 chargers declined in nearly every category of the 2023 U.S. Electric Vehicle Experience Public Charging Study released Wednesday. Satisfaction with Level 2 declined an average of 617 points on a 1,000-point scale, 16 points lower than a year ago. Level 3 chargers sunk 20 points to an average of 654. Tesla was the only company to score above average. Study was fielded in collaboration with PlugShare, an EV driver app maker and research firm. More than 15,000 owners of battery electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles participated from January through June of this year.
PlugShare, isn't that where Joe Biden went to get more hair?
That's good. I like that.
Plugs.
I got it. PlugShare. We should have thought of that. Jeff. Just saying. Well, you too, Konrad. Look at you.
I know.
You got just a few wisps left.
The
Grass.
The front is catching up with the back.
Grass does not grow on busy streets.
David, are you listening to this down here? Listen to him. Look at him. Full head of hair.
Where's your hair? You got room to talk.
Well, at least I've got some. Hey, quick break now.
From the side over the middle.
You're on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We'll wrap up today's show right after this.
The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In-Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Konrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In-Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel.
That's the checkered flag for this week's In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. When you're online, follow us on Facebook if you would. Give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk if you would, please. We promise to keep you posted on all things automotive all week long, including new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing events, car, truck, SUV goodies, all of that and more. We promise, though, not to load up your feed. Hey, you can find us, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app, and our live stream, our video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and on InWheelTime.com. Every Saturday, 8 to 11 o'clock Central Time. Daily 30-minute podcasts available on your podcast channel that you use. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing Advertising Advisor and Video Technical Director is We Need More, Jeff Zekin. For Booking Agent and Zoom Master, Mike Mars. Mr. Know-It-All, his royalty, King Konrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. Please join us for our next show, another award-winning production of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, Saturday, August 26th, 2023, on all of our In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time. Have a great weekend. Stay cool, and we'll see you then.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.